Hey guys, I wanted to talk to you about the fit for your Laboratory of Champions belt. So I know some people are starting to get them right now. So I figured I would go over some of the different aspects of it and the difference between the original version and the new Cuddy version, which is designed for women, but I guess as a man you could use it if you have big hips or something, I don't know. So this is the original, or the men's version of the Laboratory of Champions belt. And this is my Cuddy version, which Arsene designed for women. The difference in the cuts on the back of the belt, let's see here, the difference in the cuts, has everything to do with the way the belt sits on your hips, or on top of your hips. Traditionally, when I originally had the original style belt, which worked really good, you would basically, so if you're a girl and you got this style of belt, which I have a couple students who actually like this belt better than the Cuddy version. If you're, I would say if you're more square, and you don't really have any hips and you've got a very neutral waist, meaning that, you know, you don't have, your waist is not smaller than your hip size, you may like the original style better, which I have one student who does like that. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to take your belt, and for women you're going to place it at what your natural waistline is. Okay, so I'll place it at my natural waistline, and then go ahead and cinch down your belt. You want it to be fairly snug when you put it at your natural waistline, and then we're going to shimmy it down to get it to fit. So go ahead and put it at your natural waistline. You'll have to play with it a couple times the first time you use it to figure out exactly how tight you're going to want it when you go to shimmy it down. So preferably if you want to wear a size shirt that's a little bit larger than what you normally wear, so that way you have enough shirt space. Liam, no. No. So that way you have enough shirt space when you put the belt on. Because what you're going to do, normally I spray down underneath the belt on my shirt with water first, and then you're going to take the belt and you're going to pull up on your shirt as you push down on the belt. Then switch sides, pull up on the shirt as you push down on the belt. Up on the shirt, and then you'll do the same in the back. Bend over a little bit, push the belt down in the back. So what we're trying to do is that I'm trying to wedge the belt over top of my hips. Okay, so right now the top of my iliac crest is about in the middle of the belt, okay, which is correct position for this type of belt. You'll notice that there are notches on the side. These can be used to place your elbows. If your natural rack position is a little bit farther back, then all you have to do is just flip the belt over, and there's another rack position that is slightly farther back. Okay, so your options for racking with the belt on are either you can have super narrow arms and rack on your belly, which is good, but preferred is always to actually rack on the belt, which I actually need to flip this one over, is to actually rack onto the belt because it's a solid platform. So that way when I go to do my jerk, the belt is pushing on my elbow and my elbow is being pushed into the overhead position. Okay, so that is for how a woman would put this on for the men's style belt. Okay, so my iliac crest is about in the middle. You just pull and push, pull and push. The other option is that for men, you'll just put it at your natural waist so the belt is sitting just right above your hip bone. Okay, so same thing, you'll want to make it sure it's tight enough, that way when you go to bump, that your hip is pushing on the belt and the belt is pushing on your elbow. So I'll show you elbow position. Just grab it for me. So ideally is we want to have our elbow here sitting right down onto the belt. Okay. This is not as comfortable for me. Actually, this isn't as bad because the vegan belt doesn't have as much give as the other one, but normally what happens is your hip bones push against the bottom of the belt for women, and it ends up pushing the belt inward like this, and then there's really no place for you to stick your elbow. So that's with that one. And then if you order the Cuddy version of the Laboratory of Champions belt, which the belt buckle would be the same as on the vegan one, but this is my belt. So, but you can see the difference in the cut in the back. So the reason for that is that it allows for us women, it gives you space for your hip. So on this one, you're just gonna put the belt on. There'll be no like cinching it down. You'll just put the belt on. You want the tightness to be, I don't know, you want to be able to fit at least 2 fingers down inside there and have space, but it needs to be fairly snug. So when you put it on, it should be just right above my iliac crest is right here. So just right above my iliac crest and tight enough that when I push down on it, it basically is going to catch my hips. So that way now I can go to rack, and when I go to bump, same thing's going to happen. The advantage for having the Cuddy version for the women's belt is before I would have to make the belt super tight and then wedge it down, so that way when I would go back into the backswing, if I didn't have it tight enough, my belt would pop up. So with this belt, now when I go back into the backswing, when my hips hit the belt, it's already just where the cutout was, so it doesn't pop the belt up. So on this one, you'll just put the belt on right above your iliac crest, cinch it down, and you shouldn't have to do any messing with it from there. It should just sit. The nice thing about the Cuddy one is because it's able to sit down a little bit lower without wedging, and because the hips are not pushing on the belt because it's not there, the belt stays upright or turns outward, so that way I can get a good rack position. So my rack on this one is a lot easier for me to find than on the other belt. So here's racking on the belt. So my elbow is actually sitting on the belt, or racking on your belly. So if you have any questions, you can post below and I'll try and answer any questions that I have. If you're looking at buying a belt, I wear a medium, and pretty much most of my girls wear a medium. But even my largest girl at 230 pounds, she wears a large. So he's got a wide variety of sizes. And then my smallest girl, who's 48 kilograms, wears a small. So the 48 kilograms fits kids, and then he also has kid sizes, or teenage or younger girls, 13-year-olds, unless you're just really tiny. 48 kilogram or maybe a little bit more, you fit in small, but the smalls are pretty small. So this is a medium, the other one I showed you is a medium, and then larges. Thanks, bye.